Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are 30 days from being released, and Pokemon fans are anxiously awaiting confirmation their favorites are going to be in the games. Yes, we can listen to the leaks, but some fans are ignoring them so we can get nothing spoilt for us and have a clear playthrough. With every new game, there can be possibilities of new forms, new abilities, or just buffs and nerfs for each Pokemon. Keeping that in mind, this list is based on 5 Pokemon that I'd love to see get buffs in Scarlet and Violet just to help them be more relevant or give them a boost for their capabilities in the game. Let me know your picks for this and why. Hi, my name is Toxplicity and I've been playing Pokemon ever since the releases of Fire Red and Leaf Green, and I'm really excited for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm already assembling my team in my mind and I have listened to some of the leaks, but this list is just for the people that may not have seen any leaks and want to know what Pokemon could be in the game and what I think of Pokemon that deserve some buffs. The first Pokemon on this list is a Pokemon who may not exactly need any changes, but a slight stat buff would do it a world of good. This Pokemon being Luxray. Luxray is already a fan favorite and a Generation 4 powerhouse. Already having access to Intimidate, Rivalry, and the hidden ability Guts, I don't think adding another ability would be beneficial at all, but let's just look at the stats. Based 120 attack and 95 special attack are perfect, but the speed stat being 70 is a little bit worrying. You could always slap a Choice Scarf on this Pokemon to outspeed any threat that might come this Pokemon's way, but if you wanted to take advantage of Guts and use a Fire or Flame Orb to increase the attack stat, then the speed is something we need to look at. Increasing the speed to a base 90 only increases the overall stat spread to 543, but it would help Luxray immensely. Its move pool means it can't really harm ground types anyway, which is Luxray's main weakness, and to not make it overpowered, we'll leave this that way. Just make sure that ground types can still attack this Pokemon while its speed stat is boosted so it can hit other things really hard. Coming in at number 4 is a Pokemon that I'm a massive fan of, and one who is definitely due for a boost. This Pokemon being Patrice. Legends of Arceus was a perfect time to either give Patrice a form change or an evolution to help the poor total stat spread of 405 be increased. An evolution would increase this to 510 at least, or we can single out just a special attack stat to increase, which is base 45. We could boost this to 85 to at least help it slightly. The main thing going for this Pokemon are the special defense and speed stats of 90 and 95 respectively, so we can leave them the same. We could give Patrice an additional typing, but this would increase the weaknesses. So instead, I would just increase the special attack stat like I said, and give this Pokemon access to Prankster ability just to get off the priority status moves, which makes this Pokemon really special. It doesn't break the game at all, and would definitely help Patrice be more relevant. Legends of Arceus really had a missed opportunity on their hands and let this Pokemon down massively. Coming in at number 3 on this list is a Pokemon who definitely deserves this spot. It deserves a lot of love and is a Generation 1 favorite of mine and a lot of other people, and that is Sandslash. I know Sandslash recently got the form update and the typing change to Ice and Steel, but I feel this really did nothing for it. Let's just stick with the original ground typing for now. This Pokemon has weaknesses to Water, Grass, and Ice, which are primarily special attackers. Giving Sandslash a 20-point boost to special defense, bringing it to 75, will help slightly, and a further 20 to the low speed stat of 65 means the base stat spread hits 500. Only 500! Sandslash hits hard with a base attack stat of 100, and with access to Stab, Earthquake, Bulldoze, and Dig, this Pokemon already is good for in-game action, but these stat boosts could definitely help it competitively and help it come up against its weaknesses. I feel really bad for this Pokemon because since Generation 1, it really has no love, and this form change really didn't do anything for it. I know a lot of people just ignored it, and it was really irrelevant. Coming in at number 2 is a Pokemon who easily is forgotten, and I didn't even know it was in Legends of Arceus until I bumped into it when completing my Pokedex. Lemidion was introduced in Generation 4 during Diamond and Pearl, and it deserves a bit of an update and just a little bit of a buff. Across the board, Lemidion's stats are okay, with a total spread of 460. We could increase these, but instead, making Lemidion a Water Fairy type and giving it access to a setup move like Quiver Dance, and then a stab move like Dazzling Gleam would benefit this Pokemon so much, making it a massive threat. A step further could be giving Lemidion access to Adaptability as its ability, but for the purpose of a buff and not making this Pokemon too overpowered, the current abilities are fine for now. How could you look at Lemidion and say Water Fairy wouldn't fit it so well? Honorable mentions are always hard because it means these Pokemon miss out on a spot on the list. But I feel like these two Pokemon I see on lists like this all the time and I didn't want to cover them again. Tropius and Hypno just miss out on a spot for this reason, but a buff, form, or evolution is definitely warranted for these two amazing Pokemon. Taking out the number 1 spot on this list is a Pokemon I enjoy using and I'm a massive fan of, but one who deserves a bit of a buff just to avoid becoming forgotten. Cacturne is one of those Pokemon shown little love over the years, and a return in Scarlet and Violet with a buff would be really beneficial and nice to see for fans of this Pokemon. If we want to talk about deserving of a buff, Cacturne has 6 weaknesses and a 7th quad weakness to Bug. All these types easily outspeed this cactus with a speed stat of just 55. Increasing this to 85, bringing the overall speed spread to 505, and giving Cacturne the access to ability Sand Rush, which doubles speed in a sandstorm, would make this Pokemon a huge threat. It is a cactus, and cactuses do thrive in sandstorms at the end of the day. Its move pool is okay for what it is, and it attacks pretty well with a decent attack stat. I for one would love this change and would love to add Cacturne to my squad in a heartbeat in Scarlet and Violet, but it just needs a little bit of an increase to this speed stat or the ability change just to make it a bit better. So there you have it, that is my list of 5 Pokemon who deserve a buff in Scarlet and Violet. Let me know down below what your choice of a Pokemon that deserves a buff would be. I for one would love either of these Pokemon to get a buff, and I would use all of them on my team if I had the choice. I'm really looking forward to Scarlet and Violet, but I hope you guys are too, and thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.